Hello and welcome to the Empower Couples podcast, where here you get modern, non-boring relationship advice for you and your partner to communicate like pros, fight smarter, and stay on the same team no matter the challenge that you face. I'm one of your hosts, Aaron Freeman.
And I'm Jocelyn Freeman, but you all just know us as the Freemans.
And this episode is 5 ways to get out of that marriage funk and spark more fun together.
Don't you like the alliteration there, right? Get out of the funk and have more fun together. Because the truth is, the longer you're together, the busier that you get, maybe there's some rough patches you encounter or hardship, it's easy to experience one of two things. One, you're either just in a hard season, so it can feel like you're even just trying to survive your busy schedule. Like we just signed up our daughter for both dance on Mondays, swim on Fridays. So it feels like we have more and more activities, as well as going to friends' birthday parties and finishing our work.
This is so funny to have this conversation. It's like, these are the things all parents say, and now we're like living it.
Exactly. So it can be just a busy, full season, or maybe you're experiencing some adversity, some challenges, or it can feel like you just get into a routine together, right? It almost feels like Groundhog Day. You've been together a long time. It's like, oh, there you are again. You know, we've lived so many years together. And the thing is, as human beings, we can get complacent. When we don't have something we're focusing on, we can default to survival. You'll hear us refer to that on different episodes, because that's the thing. The brain isn't designed to thrive. Its default is, let me survive. And so that's what your brain is going to focus on, getting by, just getting through the day, etc., until you give it something to focus on. And we know that you don't want to just survive your marriage or survive life together. You truly want to experience fun together, connection, fulfillment, even when there maybe are harder things going on as well.
And I'll add for myself, you know, we talk a lot about the repair and rebuilding and challenges and all that thing. And when I say challenges, I mean external stresses, not like our 30-day challenge.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the survival. And, you know, most of the time, you know, and we're sharing this because this is not a season, but it's like a week that we're in, right? We're wanting to experience sparking some more fun with each other, as just the last week, there was some funk for us. So, I do want to elaborate on what you're saying. Yes, there's the repair side. Yes, there's the survival side. And I think there is also the middle range of that, right? It's just the routine.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, it's getting things done. It's the comfortability. It's the known. It's the obligation, the responsibilities. And we all have that. It's a part of what life is. And you almost have to combat that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we want to give you 5 ways to combat even just that middle ground of we just are in the routine. We know what the day is about, even when there's a lot of activity. And so it can just feel like the days are on repeat, and then it's just easy to then kind of miss each other and not have so much fun and enjoyment and excitement and enthusiasm and optimism, or even playfulness with your partner.
Now, before we get into these 5 specific ways, I just have something. It may seem initially like bad news, but really it's just to give you perspective. There is no going back to how it was before. That's what we'll hear couples say sometimes, right? Whether they're in the newborn stage with a baby and they think, well, I want to go back to how it felt when it was just the two of us. Or a couple that's been together for 15 or so years and they say, I want to go back to what it felt like in the beginning. There is no going back. You two are different now. Not only as individuals, you've evolved, you've changed, but also the marriage season that you're in is different. So rather than thinking about going back, think about building forward. And this is really going to come down to intentional choices and decisions that you make every single day.
And that's a great lead into this first point of the 5 ways to spark more fun. And it's to set the intention for your attitude. Now, Jocelyn will expand and use this personal development term of your way of being. But let me start with attitude. You have to redirect your attention. When you just let your attention go, it just focuses on the things that you put in your calendar and the things to get done. But if you think about the attitude that focus creates, it's one of, you don't have to think that much. Like you're just getting things done. You're just checking things off the list. And so it gives you a certain attitude. It gives you a certain way of being. And that does not necessarily lead to a way of being or attitude that drives different actions towards fun and enthusiasm and playfulness. So it's really about when you wake up, what direction are you putting your attention? And you can use your attention to set intention for how you would like your attitude to be, no matter what shows up. And oftentimes, our attitudes are in response to the things that happen in our day-to-day that we don't like. And then so we're just really in more of a reactive way of being, rather than when I wake up, nothing has happened yet. Let me decide, let me set an intention of being just fun, being playful, being lighthearted, not having things be so significant, looking for what's new and different. And then that will jumpstart your attitude. And then, I mean, where else? That's the foundation of all of it.
So to put that really into actionable terms, think about your habits when you wake up. So for some people that we talk to, they actually say their kids are their alarm clock, right? So they wake up with their kids either crawling into their bed or making some noise. And the thing about that is we know you love your sleep. We do as well. But when we implemented the practice of waking up well before our daughter, it allowed us to actually focus on ourselves as individuals, as a couple, set our intention, set our focus, do something that fills our cup before we wake up and get into go mode. So think about your habits. How are you waking up? Are you hitting snooze? Are your kids waking up? Then next, what do? Do you open up your phone or your computer, start to look at work emails? Maybe you turn on the news. You start looking at different social media posts. And then again, you are reacting to circumstances, whether it is stressful emails or it is something terrible on the news, which there's something every single day. And we're not saying those things aren't important, your work and staying up to date with important matters, but does it have to happen immediately? Or could you implement a sequence of habits where, again, you wake up a little bit earlier than you have been and you do something for your mind, your body, your spirit? And that can be many different things, right? For us, exercise, reading self-development books has been a go-to for us over the years, listening to something empowering, because then you will be focused on creating your day. And I hope it's not just listening to something that's news related, right? That's outside news. What should come first before you get informed about the world and your work is your personal news, your personal life, who you want to be as a partner, a person, and a parent. So I feel like I just got hyped about what I'm saying there.
Oh, yeah. I'll throw this out there before we move to the second point. Just consider, which we probably don't do often, is your partner's life better because they married you?
Whoa, okay.
You know, it's a strong point to make. But at one point, you had asked this person to redirect their entire life to be with you.
Whew.
And then what's that like for them now? Like, are they happy that they made that decision? And I'm not saying that the majority of you listening, your partner is dissatisfied with being married to you. I'm just saying as a point of where to direct your attention. A question. Today, is my partner going to be really grateful that they married me? I don't know. And then maybe that just will take you down a different path. So we're just trying to spur on different thought processes to redirect your attention, create some intention for the kind of experience you want to have with your partner.
With that, let's go to the second way to spark more fun together, and that's to have things that you're looking forward to on a short-term, medium, and long-term basis. And all three of those are really important. So just to give you some examples of things to create for like what we have, which really is sparking fun because it gets us out of the day-to-day conversations. It gives us something else to talk about. We've got some fun stuff coming up. Let's start with the long term. So next year, Aaron is turning 40, right? You're okay with everyone knowing that? It's exciting.
Yeah, no, I mean, I wrote it on the thing here.
Your next decade.
And I would say this is even medium. Long term is more vision. There are things that we have set out of how we want this marriage work to begin. So I don't want to go into the long term. So my birthday is in March. I don't care if people know the date, and I am turning 40. So this is more of a medium. And Why don't you take it away because
Yeah.
you're actually planning it.
So I really want to make this special. So I'm planning, he knows a trip is happening. He knows that some people are coming, but he doesn't know where or what we're going to be doing. And I just said to him, hey, here's what I want to invest into this. And he was on board with it. And it's going to be super special and exciting because we need to celebrate those milestones. You know, what is life if we're just getting by and not pausing and celebrating these milestones of life that we honestly don't know how long it will be, how many years that we get. So I'm excited. That's fun planning, which there's been little things that we've been able to talk about with that. And then also our 10-year wedding anniversary is next year. And so we've been just having some conversations. Oh, what about this place? We could do this. And even having us really get into this frame of mind of what will be symbolic and special for that 10 years. So it's not just a vacation, although that's fun, but it truly is, again, a celebration of a milestone. Because if you've been a listener for a while, you know that term, the 7-year itch, is actually more, according to studies and a lot of data, is actually more like a 10-year slump. That's actually where a lot of couples at that 10-year mark can feel like it either is the hardest, or that's where they can even feel like we're either going to make this better or we're going to part ways. And there's a lot of different reasons as for why that is, but our goal, I was writing about this earlier today in my notes. Our goal has been, and I hope it continues to be, I know it will be, has been to become better partners for each other over time, not worse, which I know that's not anyone's intention, but if you don't have that as a goal, as a focus, you could become not as great partners for each other, which we know that you don't want. So those are some of the medium term, if you want to call it that, Erin. Then we also have short term things, right? So we've been excited planning little getaway weekends with Sky, and where do we want to take her, because she's getting to that age where she is learning things as we travel, even if it's just a short road trip away. We are signing her up, or she already has started her dance class. And for us, it's like, let's make that a moment. It's not just, oh, let's sign her up, we have to take her to this, but let's have fun with this. Let's enjoy that our daughter is like becoming a human being, right? She's not just a baby. She has interest. She gets excited. She's learning. Anything else you want to add about these short, medium, long term?
I am buying an expensive watch, and in that you're like, well, I want to look at some jewelry. So actually today we're going to the place that actually got your wedding ring and picking up a watch, and you want to look around for what's available there
for the 10-year, right? Not just like random jewelry, although that's fine too, right? This is about what I've always said, this is a funny little thing, but when we got married, I said, just so you know, since we're all about talking about expectations proactively, for our 10-year wedding anniversary, I am hoping to get a little bling, right? Something a little special for that. So those are some short term. But the point, before we go to the next one, is have things that you're looking forward to so that you are focused on something fun and exciting, and it switches up your conversations.
And as you heard us say on a previous podcast, all action is driven by a goal. You can go back and listen to that podcast. Really a great one. And that series of having a goal, it driving action, well, it also creates the attitude. And you could just think to yourself, well, you want to create a goal that is inspiring, creates optimism or fun. Otherwise, if your goal is just to like avoid bad things happening, it's like, well, yeah, you're going to take action in accordance with that, but it's also going to give you an attitude of like concern and worry and just like trying to survive. So anyway, that's why you have to have a goal and things you're looking forward to.
Yeah.
So number 3, use the element of surprise to spark more fun. Now, I have to say that I don't necessarily personally like saying date nights because I think everyone says that.
Well, and it's a default for a lot of people.
Yeah, and so obviously I like to be more creative, but certainly planning dates every month or every other month and like switching those off with each other, that could be something that sparks some new fun and joy. Because
it's not just about the date night. It's about taking turns to plan it, to have some surprise. Whereas on a session last week, one partner, it was her, she was saying, I feel like we get in the car, it's date night, and you go, so where do you feel like going? And she's like, I so don't feel special. I don't even feel as though it mattered to you. And she wasn't trying to say it's all on him. And what we talked about was, can you actually take turns planning something for each other to show? Because it's not just about the date. It's about showing that you care, showing that you want to spend time, that you're putting effort into it. And we all love a surprise, don't we?
So there's a piece of that I want to save for the end, but let's give you a few other examples of the surprises. You could buy and wear some new lingerie, for example.
Is that something you're requesting?
Sure.
No, you love it when that happens.
And it doesn't have to be that, or just like any little gift. We're not trying to have this be expensive. It's just going outside of the routine, bringing something home that you knew your partner liked. If I brought you, even as easy as this is, or even was yesterday, I brought home just flowers from Trader Joe's, or if I brought you in Arizona now, it would be an iced coffee for you.
Because it's so hot.
Yeah, when it's not as hot, it would be like a regular half-calf latte.
Look at he's saying my order right there. You
Or,
remember.
Yeah, well, of course. I also have a pretty good memory.
Yeah.
And if there was something that maybe you had noticed online and pointed out to me, maybe I'd buy that. But again, I'm not trying to be extravagant with spending. Just any little thing. Yeah. Again, that kind of shows that care. It's part of the surprise. Now, there are some other things I think are really fun that I've been seeing online too. I can't remember the account, but she is a mom. She creates movie theater experiences in their home. Now, again, she's a mom. She has 4 kids. And so it's really fun for them. But you did that for us with Sky a couple of months ago. And that was so fun. I thought that was such a fun experience.
I even printed tickets out, right? Like it wasn't just, let's put on a movie and here's a snack, which although that's fine too. But again, the element of surprise, it was the tickets. It was each person's favorite snack in this cute bowl, right? So it's just putting in that little bit of extra effort.
Put up like a rope. That it was like a premiere and they had to wait in line. But I thought it was so fun. So that, and again, we live in Arizona, so put all this into context. It's so hot here. Buy a slip and slide, even if you don't have kids. Like imagine you buying a slip and slide and you put it up in the backyard or front yard or in your house, wherever you want to put it.
Inside.
And then your partner comes home and say you have like their bathing suit out. And look, they have no idea. And however their day went, imagine coming back home. Your partner has all this fun energy. They make you put on the swimsuit. And then there's a slip inside. And you're like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. And then you go on the slide. And then it's like such a fun time.
Yep.
Right? It really switches up the energy of the day, of the week. And I'll add just one more last surprise here. Go and test drive your dream car. Even if you're not in the market. Even if you don't have any intention whatsoever to buy this car ever. I mean, if it's your dream car, just set the intention. But just go drive that together, right? Experience what that would be like.
Yeah.
And that's something we've been doing recently because we have a lease coming up towards the end of the year. So we've been doing that, and it's been a lot of fun.
So the point of this, whether it's something big or small, it's just about putting in the effort. And that's often so much of what's missing is just those little things to say, I'm thinking of you. You're special. You're important. I want to have fun with you. So with that, let's go to the next one, which is to agree to stop all the withdrawals from each other's love account. So we know that there's some new listeners. So if you haven't heard that term, just really quickly, think of your love account as the sum of the deposits versus the withdrawals to your love account, just like a bank, right? Now it's very easy. The longer you're together, the busier you get, to not only forget to make those deposits, but then to start to make more withdrawals, which can be a number of things, but it can be just little remarks that you make, little corrections, nitpicking, too much feedback, getting defensive to something that they say. An argument is definitely a bigger withdrawal. And then you can see how it becomes worse and worse when you're not counteracting that with more deposits. Now, we've done many episodes just really diving into that, but the point is, if you want to spark more fun with each other, get out of a funk, you actually have to say, hey, let's pause on any withdrawals. And it does make your mind focus on, okay, you know what? I would want to make that little remark about where they left that or that, but you know what? No, that's a withdrawal. We want to get out of this funk. Now, when you are focusing not only on minimizing those withdrawals, your brain will start to see where you could do something more positive instead, where a deposit is. And you see how this not only creates an environment where you are having more fun because you feel like you can be yourselves, you're not getting these critiques.
That's a good point.
But it's going to create this positive momentum. And that's so much of what it is to get out of the funk and have more fun is really based on that momentum. Now, if you want some fun ideas for this and to stay consistent, because I know a lot of people will say, you know what, we'll hear things, we'll get motivated, we'll get excited, we're consistent for 3 to 7 days, and we forget. That's why we have the 30-day couples challenge. So for anyone who's new here, you can sign up. We have a level 1 and a level 2, which you can pick from and maybe start with level 1, then go to level 2. But you want to read which one really resonates with you because it is about the daily things that you can focus on. Not for 3 days, not for 7, but consistently for 30 days. And the testimonials are honestly just what keeps us going. It's why we keep sharing about it because the testimonials and what it says. So go to the link in the show notes and you'll be able to see both of those challenges. The level 1, which is prioritizing us, and the level 2, rebuilding us, which is if you're really feeling like you need to do some more repair, some rebuilding in order to get into this season of more fun and focusing on your love accounts.
So let's close this out with the last one, and it has threads in each of the previous 4 steps. I call this match their energy +1.
Okay.
I just came up with this. Not the idea, that name. So match their energy +1. We made note of it in the first step about setting your intention and also about the surprises. So this is really directed towards the partner who is sort of receiving, whether it's the goal or the surprise or the invitation, whether it's to date night. How you show up to your partner's request is going to determine whether the energy of fun and the energy of enthusiasm continues. You know, if you get this slip and slide, I'm going to keep going with that. And
I guess he wants me to buy a slip and slide,
you go
guys.
through this work. And then I'm like, oh, I don't want to do this, right? All of a sudden, all that effort turns into what feels like a withdrawal. So again, that links even to the last one. Or if you just are on a date, as you mentioned, and you're not generating energy or conversation or creating these milestones or looking into the future, if you just humdrum, if it seems like you're bored, if you're thinking about all the other tasks that you'd rather get done, I mean, no one wants to be around that. It's like, I'm not going to set up that many fun experiences for us if like, this is what I get from you.
So don't be grumpy is what he's basically saying.
Yeah, grumpy is a good one. So when your partner makes a deposit, initiates a date night, gets the slip and slide, or even just wakes up and or throughout the day has something fun they want to share with you, match their energy, match their enthusiasm, match their optimism. And my ideal goal for everyone, that's why I said the +1, match it, but go a little bit above it. Right? We want to create momentum. Otherwise, like, it just keeps on falling flat. Like, what really is feeling like you can be yourself is that you can have an experience and you can express it without it feeling like it gets shut down, thwarted, squashed. I mean, that's what it is to feel limited and constrained in a relationship. And so to allow for that to really thrive, you need to let whatever energy your partner has not only be supported, but a partner is one that's going to amplify.
Yeah.
And so that's where I get match their energy and then ideal go up one level.
I can think of 2 examples. I guess toot my own horn. These are just ones I was thinking about where you were putting a step towards something. So you got me flowers yesterday. I could have just been like, oh, thanks, just like a simple thing. But I was like, oh my gosh, and it wasn't fake. I wasn't pretending. I was really wanting to show you it matters. And I was excited. I was like, wow, I love these colors. They're yellow and they're pink. And I was cutting them and I was just making remarks. Again, that wasn't a show. That wasn't fake. But I want to show you that I noticed those things. They matter. And then even with this watch, right? You were saying, hey, I want to get this. I knew it was something something that was exciting for you. You don't buy a lot of stuff for yourself. And I was generating excitement for you, but then I was like, I want to go with you. And what if we also just look at with a 10-year?
Oh, yeah,
okay, so it was
sure.
like a win-win.
Not the best example.
All right, it is, because again, I was excited for your watch.
Yeah, okay.
Hey, don't take it the wrong way.
Let me go with you. I'll just look over in this case over here.
It's a both and, okay? It was excitement for your watch and really wanting to make it a special thing. Go with you. Let's see it. But then also, yeah, hey, what about this fun 10-year thing? But it's a fun activity. Are you not excited to go in a couple hours?
Oh, yeah.
Right. It's something fun to do together. So don't take it the wrong way. But the point is that you're making, I really love it because it's match their energy plus one. So much of this, again, is that attitude, that energy that you bring to things, because we've been saying this on sessions as well. You could see two people doing the same thing. So, for example, driving to dinner together, at dinner together. They're doing the same things, but with two completely different attitudes and energy that they're bringing. So it isn't just about the doing, it's who you're being in the process. So don't forget that. Well, I had fun recording this episode, and these are things that we are truly focusing on. Because to Erin's point earlier, we were in a little bit of a funk for the last week and maybe a few days before. And we recognize when we're in those so that they are short-lived and we can course correct. And so then we say, okay, let's switch it up. And it's all of these things that we listed where we then shift to focus on more fun. Now, again, if you want some fun ideas and to stay consistent with this, you've got to sign up for the 30-day couples challenge. Level 1 is prioritizing us, and level 2 is rebuilding us, which again is if you need to focus on some more repair and some rebuilding of the foundation to be able to focus on connection, fun, love deposits. So both of those will be linked in the show notes. The URLs also are mycoupleschallenge.com or mycoupleschallenge.com/rebuilding. Again, those are linked in the show notes if you weren't able to jot that down. But we love you guys. We hope you enjoyed this episode. If you're new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button so that you can hear past and future episodes. We love getting messages from you guys and hearing that these make a difference. And it makes a big difference if you write a review for us. That's how we know that it's making a difference. With that, you guys, we will talk to you on the next episode.